Is it visible to you? Just reply in chat box. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so basically, in the introduction, we need to check what is POP and OP is your first point. So what actually POP and OP is all about classification, right? So it is POP and OP. There are so many languages available. So this is simply called a classification of languages. So what all other things are there? So in classification, we have procedure-oriented programming. Then we have object-oriented programming. Then we have object-based programming and rule-based programming. So those are classifications of languages. So basically, in previous semester, you have gone through a language and which is from procedure-oriented programming. So what is the language which are you gone through in procedure-oriented programming approach is C language. I think you learned C language in last semester, which is from procedure-oriented programming. So what is procedure-oriented programming is all about is, see, in that language, no, the more focus is given to function, right, other than data. So all such kind of languages are called procedure oriented languages, right? What probably a function is procedure, even though you call it as processes, right? Whatever data you taken into a program, into your program, you are having function or operations on that data. So you are going to write operations for that data. Those are processes, right? So your focus is more on the such kind of thing, right? If I want to write a program like if I have I have a record which is stored for student, right? And that record has some marks in it, right? And his caste and all other data related to student. So that data I want to display, right? Or I want to print. I want to take it from student and I want to print. Then simply in this language, the approach is more or on functions, right? You are trying to write a function wherein you are going to take a data from user. So you probably use printf function, you use scanf function. You are taking the data from user, and simply your next task or next process is to be you are going to display that data. In one function you are taking that data, and another function you are going to display that data, rather that this is a mark of student B1, then this is his category, this is his name, right? Such kind of things you are going to display. So more focus is on processes, or you can say function, in kind of in such kind of languages or in POP languages, right? This is also in POP, no, it follows top-down approach. Now, what actually top-down approach is, that I explained earlier example, right? We basically think about processes or procedures, what all are there for that problem statement, right? If I want to take a data and display that data, then my focus is more or on what we say processes, right? Just like to take that data from user and display that data rather than data itself, right? So this is simply called a POP or top-down approach, wherein you are having your own problem statement with you, and you are trying to solve that problem statement with different function. Whatever data is required, whatever variable is required, you are going to take that variable, you are going to write a function for those, and you are going to solve, right? That is simply called a top down approach, right? So which one is a first POP language? So Fortran, obviously, which is there on your screen. Fortran is a first high level language Then what all other languages are there? The language that you previously learned, C. C is obviously a procedure-oriented language, and Pascal is also a procedure-oriented language. So this is about procedure-oriented language. The next is object-oriented language. So what all things are there? Major differences in POP and OP is, see, in such kind of languages, no focus is more on data, right, rather than functions, wherein the the advantage called security over POP of OP is lies in between this statement, right? So in such kind of languages, focus is given on data, right? So there are certain functions available, there are some certain parts available wherein you are going to encapsulate those data in such kind of languages, right? Rather than your focus is on function in case of POP, wherein in case of your is on data, because you need to have a you need to have your data secure, right? And in like take an example of banking application, wherein data has more what we say weightage than anything else, because in case of your customer, the data is like no he who he is, then what is there in account type and all, his money is all is include kind of thing, right? So more focus is on data. So when you came across no real life world, then this approach is probably the best of approach for real life problem. Why? Because you require data security. So such kind of applications like banking and all, you require a secure data. So in those kind of things, object oriented approach is more important, right? So what all things are there is OP language follows bottom up approach. Now what that bottom up approach means, you have simply called no you have something called problem statement with you. You will divide that problem statement, you create a small pieces of that, and you start building your code. This is simply called a bottom up approach. Now what is there in this is, you first think about data then function, right? So in case of this no if you want to continue the same example of student no, wherein in student account mark is there, his name is there, his division is there, in that case no that student is treated as an object, right? In case of object oriented programming, now the question comes into your mind is what is object and what is talking about, right? So that we'll discuss later. Time being, consider this is, you can say, in case of your simple language, this is simply called an object, right? So student is considered or treated to be an object, right? So the what we say members which are there for that object, just like mark and his name and all things are important in case of such type of programming languages or OP languages, right? So focus is there on data rather than functions. So what all OP languages are present there in industry is obviously the one we're going to learn is C++. Then Java is also there, which is object oriented language. Then C sharp or C hash, which is written over on a screen, but it is called as C sharp, which is from .NET framework, and .NET framework all is built on this language, right? So it is similar to Java, but some syntaxes, some features are different than Java. So this is also there as OP. Then Smalltalk is there, Simula is there, right? So this is simply called object oriented programming base, right? So all those are OP example. Then simply as I mentioned earlier is OP is more focused on data than the processes, because processes are going to be there with your obviously with your problem statement. So you need to more focus on data, need to work on data for security, right? So this programming paradigm or this programming model obviously contain a self-sufficient model, right? It is, if you talk about a program from OP language, those all contain a self-sufficient model, and those models are called object, right? So it has all information, whatever there is required, and uh, you can manipulate those information by own data structure. So this is about object-oriented programming introduction. Am I audible, no? Yes, my voice is reaching to you, no? Okay, thank you. So this is about OOP. Now, in classification, POP is there, OP is there, and then two more things which are not there in your syllabus, but at least you should understand, you should know about those classifications. The classifications, two remaining classifications, which is there on your screen, which is not a part of your syllabus, but still, at least you should know about this, right? So, first classification is procedure oriented, then object oriented, then object-based programming language. Now, what object-based programming language is? See, we have so many features available in OOP, right? I think I talk about major and minor pillar in first lecture. So, in those major and minor pillars, if those major and minor pillars is or some of those major and minor pillar is supported by any language, then such languages are called object-based programming language, right? So in this object-based programming language, I think not all features which are present in OP, four major pillars and three minor pillars are there in object-oriented programming language. If any language supports some of them, then this is simply called a object-based programming language, right? So example is previously Visual Basic language is there. This is object-based language, and other is there, and Modular 2 is there, right? So those are some example. Then one more category which is there is rule-based programming language, wherein actually program are composed on some rules, right? They have some set of rules, and based on that program is written. What all examples are there? Lisp is there, Prolog is there, right? In case of Prolog, no, what you need to do is, if program logic is there, no, that program logic is expressed in relations, and there are set of rules available, right? By using that set of rule, it is represented, and while executing, no, all that is, you need to run a query on that relation that is there in Prolog. So say simply rule based languages are based on some rules, right? So if they have some rules, then on the basis of that, their program is written and query is fired on that set of rules, and whatever result is required as getting from that computation, right? So this is simply based language. So those two types are not in your syllabus, still just to know, just for information, your information slides, right? Now, differences, and which is most important part, what is the difference in case of no uh, in one more question, Python is in which type, right? Um, just post your query in my WhatsApp, personal WhatsApp. I'll sort it out, right? And then I'll answer you. Right. Differences between POP and OOP. Now, those are important in case of your exam, or you can say Viva, as well as for interviews, right? So in case of procedure oriented, emphasis is on steps, or you can say processes, or you can say algorithms, right? So more focus is there on instructions, which instruction is there, what is going to follow after that, right? So it is basically or focus is basically given on sequencing, right? What all things are there, what all processes are there, what all steps are there, what all instructions are there. So focus basically is given on that case in POP, whereas in OP, focus always is on data because what is important is data in case of programming. So in object-oriented languages, focus is on data. For that reason, all the functionalities which is provided by OP is roaming around this data thing, right? So that is their OP. Now, next differences from POP and OP is in case of POP, programs are divided into small codes called unit, and in case of object-oriented language, programs are divided into small data units called classes. Now, what is classes and all that we'll see in next lecture. Timing, just consider it as a bunch of code, a small bunch of code, so, wherein data and functions are stored, right? So programs basically is divided into small unit called classes, and program are divided into small code unit that is called function in POP, right? So what we see is modularity is there, right? So in case of C, or you talk about C++, modularity is there. You have function there in C and you have classes there in object, but there are certain limitations in POP other than OP. So functions are there at both sides, but there are some limitations in procedure-oriented programming. So as and when we start our detailed content, then that time I'll discuss about those things, right? So keep in mind that modularity is there in both the cases, but here it is called function, here it is called classes, all right? One more important thing in case of procedure oriented and object oriented differences between again is data, right? In case of no what we say the POP, most function use, rather so many function use global data, because you I think you remember that you what we say, you declare your variable in main function, right? Void main, and there you are actually declare your variable. If you are declare your variable in main, then obviously whatever function you are writing in that main function, those all can access your variable. So it is all about sharing data. So it is obviously present in global area, or you can say it is available publicly in case of POP. Wherein in case of OP, data is hidden. Data is hidden means what? There are such functions available. They are bind into that, right? Data and their functions, or you can say operations, are binding in one portion, right? And then using those things, no, data is hidden and it is not accessible outside class. Now, take an example in case of no. See, it is if you think about no government offices, there no, if you go in municipal corporation office, or you go there and what we say collector office and anywhere, no, those are in public domain, right? So you, if you are going as a visitor there, you have access of all the department because those are in public domain. This is treated to be as POP. If it is in public domain, no, you can have access of all department in that office, right? If you think of corporate office, no, wherein object-oriented terminology is involved, how data is hidden. Whatever access you require, no, if you go there in corporate office in you can say metro cities like Pune, no, if you want to visit any office, first on gate you need to give your name there and to whom you are going to visit, right? And after approval of that person, no, you will get access there in corporate office, right? Such kind of terminology is used in case of object oriented language, wherein object giving them access, or you can say controlled access, object giving them a controlled access of function and data, whatever operations, whatever data is present, object give them a controlled access. Such kind of functionality is there in OOP. So that is there as a object oriented. So data is hidden there, right? And about no movement, data is moved between function to function in POP languages, whereas in OOP, no, object is important terminology there. So objects are basically communicate with each other. Whatever data is required, whatever all objects are there, no, they are communicate with each other for that data, right? So this is simply called a controlled access. Again, top down approach is there in POP, bottom up approach is there in OP that we discussed earlier in previous slides, right? So if you look at POP program, no, it is simply called, no, whatever task you want to perform, it is considered to be as list of tasks, or there are subroutines available, right? So those all things are no processes. Whatever program you see in procedure oriented programming languages, it is look like your list of tasks, right? Whereas if you see a program in object oriented language, it is basically what we say, it is basically look like a collection of object, and all those objects are cooperating to each other, right? So data is passed from one object to another just to if it is required, right? So communication is always in between object, right? Then about POP, if we think of no POP languages, data, whatever data is required, we are storing that data inside, rather we are declaring that data inside main function. So it is globally available. We don't have a feature called hiding that data in such languages. So that data obviously is less secure than OOP, wherein we have a special feature wherein we are actually hiding our data in case of OOP. So we provide security for your data in case of OOP. So this is there also in OOP. Again, in case of procedure oriented programming, if suppose you want to write a complex program there, it is quite difficult to handle and maintain that program. Obviously, if you want to add something in that program inside C, it is again not so easy task to add new data and function. Why? Because it is available globally, so it has linkage in between so many functions. So if you want to change something from one function, it will obviously propagate to other function in case of procedure oriented language, wherein OP has an modular architecture, right? So there are small bunch of programs, so you can easily add any function, or if you want to add any data related to anything, then you can obviously, or you can say easily add that program into that function into OOP language, right? So those are some differences present in between procedure oriented language and object oriented language. Are you with me? No? Are you with me? You are listening? Okay, you are listening? Okay. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, Deepali. So, uh, okay, thank you, thank you. So, whatever we talk about, no, this is about a program structure, right? In case of procedure oriented, no, we also have different functions available. Rather, modularity is there in POP languages also, and there in OP languages also. But in case of POP, the data is present globally, so every function can have access of that data because it is present globally. So you if you talk about no small programs, then it is easy to write using procedure oriented programming. But if you want to solve a real life problem, or if you want to have a complex problem whereas n number of functions are present, in that case accessing of global data and data passing mechanism is so difficult in case of a complex problem, or you can say a real life problem. So it is difficult. So data is there, global data is present, so each function can have access. Even function one can also access this global data, second global data in case of this, right? So this is simply a program structure wherein so many functions are available. Function has their own local data as well as global data is present, they can access, right? But what is difference in between in this structure in OP is it is bundled together, right? Functions and data is bundled together, and all those is called as classes, right? So it is written in a classes, and it again has a controlled access. By creating object of that class, you can create, you can access the operations which are there in that class. So if you want to access this first function which are there, no, you are going to create an object for that and you are going to access, right? So you only communicate through objects, so operations are there. If you want to change data in case of object oriented language, if you want to change data, you should go with functions which are available with that class only, right? So this is simply called a controlled access. You are not having direct access of data. Why? Because there are certain facilities provided in object oriented programming, and that facilities are called access specifiers. So there are certain access specifiers available in object oriented programming. So by using those access specifier, you have data restrictions, right? So either that data is private, the class which is having that data only can access the data, right? It is not a global data. So there are certain differences in between object oriented programming and procedure oriented programming. So if we think about OP and POP with, okay, what you said? Account to account transfer of money can be said as example of OP. Is it right? See, not really. It is an example of OP. Account to account. Obviously, banking applications are written in OP only, right? Because if you want a security, no, either it is even if you want a security, those functions are written in Java language, right? So obviously, it is an in between of communication in between two objects, right? So that you can say that it is about account account transfer money is an OOP, right? So you can see this is OP, right? A small example which is written over there is about approach, right? If you want, now the example is there on cars, right? If I want to store the name of car, then model, company name, model name, then what is mileage, what is price. In case of POP, or you can say procedure oriented, you declare those variable globally, then whatever functions, or you can say, sorry, whatever operations you want to perform, you are going to write in that function, right? So if I want to store see different if I want to store n number of cars, like suppose there is company called Toyota, there is company called Suzuki, there is company called Audi, there is company called Mercedes, right? If I want to store their car names and their mileage and prices, then I want to create that many number of functions, or you can say that many number of operations for this, and all those are going to access by this global variables, right? So for that, for anything you want to for anything which you want to done in POP, you are going to write a different function. See, if there are suppose n number of cars, then that many functions you want to add, and into whatever processes you want, right? If you want to enter that car name, then and you want to display, so that many number of functions you are going to write and such kind of things. So it is important to know the things that functions are there written in POP, but it is difficult when when the task is complex or there are so many number of functions available for this or processes available for this. In that case, you need to write all those processes into functions. So it is difficult for what we say, it is difficult to write into POPs. Wherein OOP, no, you are going to write the things in a bundle, and that bundle is simply called class, wherein you are simply creating a class, and wherein all those what we say states you are going to write into that class, whether the company name is what is the company name, what is the model name, then what mileage is that car is giving, then what is price, all is written in this class, and then what all functions are there, you are going to write that functions inside car. And what you are going to do in main function is you are simply creating object of that class, right? Just like no structure, I think you have gone through a concept called structure, wherein you are written a structure and you are writing a structure and creating a variable in that structure. I think you have gone through this kind of terminology in C. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Okay. Structure शिकलात का तुम्ही? Structure शिकलात का? Anyone, unmute yourself and tell me what is structure. Anyone?
Sir, structure is a collection of different data type elements.
Okay, different data type. Then how we are going to access those elements?
With the help of structure member.
Okay.
Structure variable.
Structure variable. And see, each and every variable has its own defined size, right? If you talk about integer, if you talk about character, if you talk about float, there is certain size available, right? तसं स्ट्रक्चरची साईज काढता येते का?
Yes, sir.
ती कशी काढतो आपण?
ऑल स्ट्रक्चर एलिमेंटची साईज ऍड करायची.
ओके, सो ते जे स्ट्रक्चर होतं ते स्ट्रक्चर सी मध्ये होतं, वेर इन इफ यू वॉन्ट टू ऍड डिफरंट डेटा टाइप्स, नो, इफ यू वॉन्ट टू टेक डिफरंट डेटा टाइप्स, नो, यू आर युझिंग स्ट्रक्चर, राईट? आता इथं डिफरन्स काय झाला, तुमच्या प्रिव्हियस जी लँग्वेज जी सी मध्ये शिकलात तुम्ही, त्या स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये तुम्ही तुमचे डेटा रादर व्हेरिएबल्स टाकायचा आणि त्याचं स्ट्रक्चर व्हेरिएबल क्रिएट करून ते तुम्ही ऍक्सेस करायचा. आता सीपीपी इकडं ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही सी प्लस प्लस म्हणता त्यावेळेस स्ट्रक्चरमध्ये थोडासा चेंज केलाय. इथं तुम्ही जस्ट लाईक यु नो, तुम्ही जसे फंक्शन्स मेन मध्ये लिहिता ना, void main मध्ये, तसेच तुम्ही स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये सुद्धा लिहू शकता. सो स्ट्रक्चर हॅज अन ॲबिलिटी in C++, structure has an ability that they can add member function as well in structure. म्हणजे जसं तुम्ही void main मध्ये functions लिहिता तसं तुम्ही structure मध्ये लिहू शकता, and by using what we say structure variable you can access, right? So हे modular architecture झालं. नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट, आता जितके, आता मी मगाशी म्हटलं की n नंबर ऑफ कार्स मला घ्यायचे आहेत, तर जितक्या घ्यायच्या तितक्या घेऊन तुम्ही त्याचे ऑब्जेक्ट करायचे, राईट? म्हणजे काय, तर हा जो ऑब्जेक्ट 1 दिसतोय त्या ऑब्जेक्ट 1 दिसतोय त्या ऑब्जेक्ट 1 साठी हे जे आहे हे वेगळं असेल, राईट? म्हणजे हे म्हणजे काय, तर त्याचे जे व्हेरिएबल्स आहेत, और यू कॅन से इन सी प्लस प्लस यू कॉल इट ॲज डेटा मेंबर्स, राईट? सो हे जे व्हेरिएबल्स आहेत हे ऑब्जेक्ट 1 साठी वेगळे राहतील, तसंच ऑब्जेक्ट 2 साठी वेगळे राहतील, राईट? सो दिस इज सिम्पली कॉल्ड अ मॉड्युलर आर्किटेक्चर. या केसमध्ये तुम्ही प्रत्येक ऑब्जेक्ट साठी त्याचे अनम्यूट केलं कोणीतरी, ओके, त्याचे तसे तुम्ही व्हेरिएबल्स किंवा डेटा मेंबर्स घेऊ शकता. सो दॅट इज सिम्पली कॉल्ड अ डिफरन्स इन बिटवीन. आता हे प्रोग्रामिंगचे डिफरन्स झाले, राईट, इन केस ऑफ पीओपी आणि ओओपी, राईट? सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट पीओपी ओओपी डिफरन्सेस. Now, what all limitations are there in procedure-oriented programming? So there are certain differences, limitations available in procedure-oriented programming. Obviously, in case of data, if you talk about data, in POP or any POP language doesn't provide a security because data is obviously have a global access, right? So it doesn't provide a security. Then regarding modularity, I think if regarding modules, no, we have functions in C as well as in C++, right? But code reusability, obviously, code reusability हे जे फीचर आहे ते फंक्शन थ्रू रादर तुम्ही अचीव करता. सो या केसमध्ये सी मध्ये त्याला लिमिटेशन्स आहेत, बट सी प्लस प्लसला तसं नाहीये. सो प्रोसिजर प्रोग्रामिंगला जरी फंक्शन्स असले तरी कोड रियुजाबिलिटीला लिमिटेशन्स येतात, राईट? तर काय लिमिटेशन्स आहेत, जसं आपण प्रोग्रामिंग करत जाईल तसं तुम्हाला कळेल, राईट? इवन दो the programs if you want to extend खूप डिफिकल्ट आहे, रादर तुम्ही करूच शकत नाही प्रोग्राम जर एक्सटेंड वगैरे करायचे असेल तर त्या केसमध्ये, बिकॉज इट हॅज सो मेनी ऍक्सेसेस, राईट? इवन मी आता बोललो तसं नेक्स्ट लिमिटेशन इज सी मध्ये स्ट्रक्चरमध्ये तुम्हाला फंक्शन्स लिहिता येत नाही, जे की सी प्लस प्लसला लिहिता येतात, राईट? देन when program becomes complex, understanding and maintaining such program is very difficult. Obviously मगाशी सुरुवातीलाच आपण बोललोय की जर तुम्हाला कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोग्राम लिहिलात तुम्ही तर तो मेंटेन करणं हा प्रोग्राम हे खूप डिफिकल्ट आहे इन केस ऑफ सी, और यू कैन से इन केस ऑफ procedural programming, right? And last limitation is, since focus is on instruction, it is rather difficult to relate the real world objects, right? Why? Because the focus obviously instruction म्हणजे काय, तर याचा प्रोसिजर ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग मध्ये प्रोसेसेस वरच फोकस जास्त असतो रादर दॅन डेटा. सो रिअल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लेम ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही हँडल करता त्या केसमध्ये त्या प्रोसेसेस पेक्षा रादर ते ट्रीटमेंट जी आहे डेटावरची किंवा रिअल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये थिंकिंगची ती थोडीशी डिफिकल्ट आहे, बिकॉज इट इज ऑल अबाउट प्रोसेसेस आणि त्या तुम्ही इन्स्ट्रक्शन्स लिहित जाता. सो त्या केसमध्ये ऍक्सेसिंग किंवा बॅक ट्रॅकिंग इज डिफिकल्ट, राईट? सो दोज आर सम लिमिटेशन्स अवेलेबल विथ प्रोसिजरल प्रोग्रामिंग. नाव what is need of object oriented programming? Now see, the two needs which are mentioned are generic, right? In any case, right? So in object oriented programming, what is the need? Obviously to avoid, or you can say to overcome a limitation of previous technology or previous POP language, right? Or you can say प्रोसिजर ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग मध्ये जे काही होतं त्याचे लिमिटेशन्स किंवा जे काही असेल ते अवॉइड करतो आपण किंवा ओव्हरकम करतो इन केस ऑफ OOP. वन मोर इज इफ यू वॉन्ट टू ऍड न्यू फीचर यू आर कम अप विथ अ डिफरंट टेक्नॉलॉजी. सो ते सुद्धा आपण म्हणू शकतो की टू ऍड or to provide a new feature which is not there in previous one, right? म्हणजे पीओपी लँग्वेजेस ज्या कुठल्या असतील त्यांच्याकडे जे फीचर्स अवेलेबल नाहीयेत ते ऍड करण्यासाठी सुद्धा नेक्स्ट म्हणू शकतो. अगेन नेक्स्ट इज OOP प्रोव्हाइड अ क्लिअर स्ट्रक्चर फॉर प्रोग्राम्स. ऑब्विसली मॉड्युलर आर्किटेक्चर, क्लिअर कट मॉड्युलर आर्किटेक्चर तुम्हाला मिळतात. सो त्या केसमध्ये ना स्ट्रक्चर खूप इझी होतं, का तर तुम्ही प्रत्येक रिअल वर्ल्ड एंटिटीसाठी ऑब्जेक्ट कन्सिडर करता, राईट? आणि त्या केसला जो ऑब्जेक्ट आहे त्याच्यावर ऑपरेशन्स आणि डेटासाठी तुम्ही क्लास लिहिता, राईट? सो हे स्ट्रक्चर खूप क्लिअर आहे. तुम्हाला पुढे कळत जाईल ज्यावेळेस मी क्लास आणि ऑब्जेक्ट सांगेन, बट हे स्ट्रक्चर खूप क्लिअर आहे OOPचं रादर दॅन POP. Obviously OOP is always faster than POP, and if you want to execute it is obviously easier. Then काय म्हणतो आपण त्याला की रियुजाबिलिटी जी आहे, मी मगाशी म्हटलं की लिमिटेशन होते POP ला. इन केस ऑफ OOP यू कॅन राईट फुल रियुजेबल ऍप्लिकेशन, राईट? सो कोड जर तुम्हाला रियुजेबिलिटी प्रॉपर ऍक्सेस करता येत असेल तर इन दॅट केस ऑब्विसली कोड हा कमीच होणार. सो शॉर्टर डेव्हलपमेंट टाइम मध्ये तुम्ही OOP अप्रोच यूज करून प्रोग्रामिंग करू शकता. So this is about OOP, right? Again, OOP make the code easier to maintain, modify, and debug. Obviously, maintenance. It has a modular architecture. Everything is treated to be as an object or class. So every portion or every process is different than other, and which is programmed in different format in different class. So it is easier to maintain. Obviously, if you want to modify something, if you want to add something into that, if you want to debug, it is a special entity. So you can treat as a rather OOP treats that as a special entity. So you can access and go with that, right? So this is simply called rather maintenance is easy in case of program development, and obviously development risk is reduced because it has a modular architecture, so you can have we can say minimum development risk. Why? Because anything which is go wrong in case of program, then you can treat this, you can keep this aside and write a different class for that, right? No need to change the replications which are there for that program, right? So this is about no development risk is low in case of OOP. So this is, you can say, generalized terminology for object-oriented programming and procedure-oriented programming, all right? Okay, so I think 1 hour is completed, just 5 minutes, huh? Just more 5 minutes. Okay, so this is for the day only. Okay, I'm going to stop.